Good afternoon, Councilmember White and members of the council. My name is Matt Smith, and I am an AP history teacher and 3-sport coach at Basis DC Charter School. Thanks for allowing me the opportunity to share some thoughts and considerations regarding how DPR and Basis have partnered for the last year or so. In speaking today, I not only represent myself, but also the entire Basis DC community. Our athletic director, Rachel McNinch, could not attend this hearing, but I assured her that I would prudently advocate on our school's behalf. Coach McNinch compiled some of the facts that are indicative of our school's plight as it pertains to renting facilities outside of the DPR. And while I'm not going to regurgitate each figure, I included them in my report for your viewing. At Basis DC, we have no gym or playing fields to call home. And realistically, there's no hope for future change. Yet while we lack the sports facilities, our student athletes and coaches consistently demonstrate creativity, resourcefulness, and competitive guts. We don't make excuses for what we don't have. Instead, when it comes to building our sports program, our school community has developed a resolute mantra: make the best of it. Throughout the sports seasons, Coach McNinch has implored me to make the best of it while coaching the high school boys basketball team, along with middle school flag football and baseball teams. For flag football, make the best of it meant shepherding 23 6th, 7th, and 8th graders on a 2-mile round trip from our campus to the nearest playable field on the National Mall. And once we reached our practice space, our players had to worry more about being tackled by a tree stump or electrical box rather than an opponent. For baseball, make the best of it meant dealing with shared space, despite a permit, and nightmarish field conditions each practice at Kennedy Rec Center. Once, when a left fielder balked at catching a fly ball directly in front of him, I begged to know why. He told me he was afraid, not of losing the ball in the sun, but rather the 2 dead rats that were on his path to the ball. For basketball, make the best of it meant only having access to a full-size court once a week, despite competing against some of the top charter and private schools in the DMV. Our boys and girls teams were true road warriors, playing all games away from home. Home gym? Not at all. Our off-campus practice facility featured 2 hoops on a tiled floor in a dingy church basement, where you couldn't play more than 2-on-2 due to the cramped walls. My team this year shot 48% from the free throw line, costing us at least 3 victories. And while we promised never to make excuses, I cannot in good faith say to you all today that my team was prepared to compete each game, simply because they could not even properly practice free throws due to the church's confinements. We ultimately nicknamed the church basement the Dungeon, a fitting moniker for an unfitting facility. Despite all these adversities, our coaches, student athletes, and parents will continue to persist. Although Basis DC is best known for its robust academics, heck, our sports team's collective GPA may be higher than our win-loss totals, there is a fierce drive within our building to prove how academics and athletics can coexist at a thriving level. As a teacher and coach committed to instilling lifelong learning lessons through athletics, all I can ask of the council is to determine how you all can make the best of it for Basis DC and all other charter schools who share our situation. I appreciate the privilege to speak in front of you all today, and I welcome any questions you may have.
Matt Smith, what do you think is the appropriate balance between DPR and the community needs for providing space for charter schools?
Well, I'm not the only charter school that's been up here, and I think the consistent theme we're hearing is just some type of equity in terms of the process. I mean, I don't know exactly because I haven't served as an athletic director, but as a coach, the amount of conversations I had with my AD were endless. So educating everybody within the schools, I think, would be a good step, because I don't know what it takes on the back end of the logistics to reserve one of these courts or reserve one of these fields.
Yeah.
So I think we're all just trying to stay out of the dark and have a better insight into how things work so that we can better plan and secure outside means.
And the reason why I asked is because we heard from so many different voices. We heard from Emory's coaches saying that basically they are right there in the community and have all these teams, or Deanwood coach have these 9 teams and can't access the field, and there's always competitive space for competition for space. And so we're just trying to figure out, as we talk to the leaders of the Department of Parks and Recs, how do we prioritize this? So I just wanted to get your take on that.
Yeah, I would say that, I mean, the high schools also serve the community. You know, that we've got kids from every single ward in the city. So the fact that we're out there, when we go to these community centers, everybody always asks, what high school are you from? Where are you guys playing? Who's next? You know, there's a really good sense that the facilities that we have rented are very welcoming. But as I mentioned in my testimony, we've only had 1 day a week where we get out there. So I feel that the communities are ready to embrace the charter schools that come up there, and people there showed great interest in our season the entire year. So that was a very positive part of the process.
All right. Thank you.